Welcome to HR Happy Hour. It is the early edition of the work break. You're here with Trish and Steve. Hey, Steve Bose.
Hey, Trish McFarland. How are you?
I'm good. How are you? How was your weekend?
It was fantastic. No, it was really. No, it was great. Yeah, it was in the sunny, warm South, which I love, which is why I moved here. The sun was out nonstop. It was 90+ degrees all weekend too. It was great.
Were the suns out, guns out though? That's the real question.
They were out. I'm exercising. I will say the Saucony shoes from last week we talked about.
Oh, you like those?
Exceptional. Like my time has improved. My 3 mile time. That's kind of my limit is like 3 mile. I can't really go further than that. I suppose I could, but I don't.
You don't.
But yeah, good. How about you?
Mine was quiet. My kids were actually camping from Wednesday through the weekend, so it was pretty quiet. I just did a lot of stuff around the house, which is good too, right? Getting some yard work done and things like that. But no, it was nice. I'm glad to have them back, which is why we're doing the work break early. I just told you, so that people know I actually did surprise you. I'm like, hey, can we do this early?
I'm like, oh, wait a minute. I was a little bit disheveled. I must admit.
That's all right.
I changed my shirt quickly. But.
Well, see, it keeps you on your toes so that people will know it's spontaneous, right? So no, I'm going to take the rest of the day off with my kids and go have lunch. And yeah, we're going to go to a store called Vintage Vinyl, which sells other things other than albums, but still sells albums, which is really cool. They like looking there. So
cool. Yeah. There was something that definitely got lost from when we went to albums, then to like tapes and CDs, and now to streaming, which is the album artwork. Right, like those classic albums with the great artwork and the liner notes and everything like that kind of went away, right? When everything went to be digital.
Yes, and you know what? It's interesting you bring that up because I had a funny thing. Like a week or so ago, this album, Post Malone, Hollywood's Bleeding, shows up at my house, and I'm like, where did this come from? It has no note. I'm just like, who would send an album? I love Post Malone. It's great. Well, so I contact the company. And they said, oh, you ordered this. You pre-ordered this last September. Like, who knew?
Wow.
But the reason that I bring it up, it's because, so I gave it to Jack, my son, and he's 16 and he loves albums, but he really appreciated like going all through the liner notes. And he made the same comment that you just don't get that whenever you're, just downloading something off the internet or whatever. So kids still do appreciate looking at them when they get them.
Yeah, that's cool. I don't have any of that. I don't have a mechanism from which to play records any longer, but
you can get them. Actually, they're quite inexpensive now. I mean, I think I got his. It sounds really silly, like Pottery Barn had just like a little portable.
That's where I get all my AV equipment. Actually, Pottery Barn. That's my first stop.
No, it's portable. It's really cute. It's like one of those little suitcase ones. It's really nice. It actually has pretty good sound, and it's Bluetooth, so.
Yeah, anyway. It's funny how things change. Like I remember, I know we talked about this because we did a couple shows when I was at the beach a couple weeks ago, and it just made me think about, like you said, the record players, and I was thinking of boom boxes, right? I was thinking, remember boom boxes? I was at this beach for like an entire week. I don't think I heard a single person playing like a boom box or any music of any kind, right? Because we all just do it on our phones with our headphones and kind of keep it to yourself thing. There was not a single boom box at the beach last week.
That's a good point. I miss that a little bit. I do. It can be annoying hearing other people's music, but it can also be kind of fun.
Yeah.
I think you should bring it back. The next beach vacation you have, you should bring a boombox.
Yeah, I could try that. I could
bring it back. Fun? That was
a trend. Yeah.
I remember when I was 16, the Sony Watchman came out. Did you ever have that? The Watchman, the little TV. It's like a little.
I don't think I did.
It was like a 5-inch TV, but it was in this big yellow plastic case that was like sand and water resistant for the beach. And so I thought I was so cool having a TV at the beach.
I remember, the Walkman. I remember I had the Discman when you could play CD on, and it was still barely a big thing to carry around, but you could do it. Right. It was pretty cool, but it did skip a lot, as I recall. Like you had to be very careful with jostling the compact disc player around too much. But.
We are so old. Well, listen, I have two things for you. One is quick and fun, and one is it's fun, but it's a little more serious. It's going to require some thought. So the first is, months ago when we started this, like 2 months ago, I shared my Glam Glow.
Yes.
And you were interested and intrigued. I sent some to you, and I don't know, did it arrive?
Not yet.
Really? I
Yeah.
said that like 2 months ago,
I
Amazon.
know. I remember when we talked about it. We'll have to check the order history.
Okay, because I was wondering, I was
I did not
thinking
get it.
to myself, like, people have been commenting about your tan, and I was wondering if you were like secretly glam glowing.
No, I'm
No,
I'm secretly sitting out in the hot sun too much, probably. But
Okay.
yeah, I do. I mean, I am a little bit. I do need to be a little bit more careful, perhaps, because I have been out in the sun quite a bit. But I do put the SPF thing on. Got that working.
Oh, good.
But no,
Okay.
I need the glam glow. I'm interested in that still.
I will follow up. I seriously, in all seriousness, I ordered that like when we talked about that.
I know. I remember.
A month and a half,
I'm glad you brought it up.
Ago. It was in May, so it should have arrived. Amazon's like 2-3 day delivery, right? So
all right, I'll
anyway.
check.
Okay, we need to check on that. And then also, so the thing that I saw this morning, and I wanted to ask your opinion, is ADP tweeted a really interesting quote that's just been on my mind. I don't know why. Sometimes they just dig in, but it's a Michael Jordan quote.
Okay.
So I thought sports related, you'll like it. The quote that he said is, "Why would I think about a shot I haven't taken yet?" And before you answer, other people were sort of saying, isn't that interesting that here's Michael Jordan saying, like, he doesn't even think about the shots he hasn't taken yet. And then on the flip side, Hamilton that we just talked about the other day, and there's a whole song about, I'm not gonna, not take my shot. Hamilton was so worried about taking his shots, right?
The duel shot?
Just in life. Like he didn't want to,
I don't think the duel worked out too well for him, as I recall.
No, right. No. Just his shot in life, right? He didn't want to do anything that was gonna prevent him from becoming who he was supposed to be, I suppose. So my question for you is, and this might be a think about one too, but off the top of your brain, like, which camp do you kind of fall in? Are you more of like, you really want to get your due, take your shots, think about it, plan them? Or are you more like Michael Jordan? Do you kind of just like, I'm not even thinking about the shots yet to come. I'm only focused on this shot right in front of me.
Oh, that's a good question. I don't think I've ever really thought about it. I'd say I'd probably more towards the Michael Jordan, I think, or I try to be anyway.
Okay.
I think my tendency might be the former, but then I think at times get too caught up in trying to work everything out and make sure everything is perfect. Mm-hmm. Sometimes when writing something, for example, or doing a presentation, maybe it'll take me too long to do just because I'm thinking about it too much, maybe overthinking. So I think more the Michael Jordan side would be for me. What about you? What do you think?
I think for most things, I probably fall into the Michael Jordan camp as well. Like, I don't think too far ahead. I'm very spontaneous, even when it comes to work sometimes. So I definitely, I'll see an opportunity and be like, oh, this is it. It's right in front of me. I mean, I don't say I never plan. I do a little bit, but not to the degree of maybe like an Alexander Hamilton, right?
Yeah.
So that's interesting. I would love to hear what people, when you're listening back to this, send us a message. Tell us, like, are you more into the Michael Jordan kind of camp where you're not thinking about it too much until it happens? You're only thinking about the one right in front of you, or are you more of a planner? I think it would be interesting. I told ADP, I said, I think it'd be interesting to have a study on this, which is, the whole risk taker versus risk averse in terms of planning and spontaneity. So I just hadn't heard that brought up in the context of work.
Yeah, it's super interesting. I never heard that quote before. I think it's a Jordan quote that's maybe more well known, and it's something to do with you can't make a shot that you don't take, or something like that. He was because, like, even for a guy who was as good as he was, Michael Jordan, right. If you look at the data around kind of game-winning shots or attempts to win game-winning shots in basketball, specifically in the NBA, the percentages are very, very, very low, no matter who they are, even including Michael Jordan. We could probably, I'll find the stat for tomorrow's show about what his shooting percentage was, like under a minute to go, tie score, things like that. Like, it's just so hard to make those shots. There's so much pressure. The defense is really, really all over you. The whole crowd is watching, et cetera, et cetera. It's an exceedingly difficult thing to do. Even for the greatest players, they miss way more of them than they make. Right. That's the point of the point of that quote. And the story was like, well, I can't worry about that. I can't worry about
Yeah, you got to just do it.
I'm not going to make the game-winning shot if I don't take it, right? That was kind of the attitude there. So I'll take it.
I would say it's fine. We'll mention it tomorrow, maybe on the follow-up, but I would almost say this could be a better, longer HR Happy Hour show where we really kind of dive in, because I would love to get some statistics on this and sort of hear what people think and maybe come up with some.
And speaking of I'm glad you mentioned the happy hour show. So I love talking about that too. That's what I was doing when you pinged me about doing the work break. I'm editing the show. I'm about halfway through it. It'll run tomorrow, which is the one we did with Eric, mostly from Workhuman.
Oh, yay.
I've been re-listening to that. I'm about halfway through it, and it'll be finished.
So great.
We'll run tomorrow morning as planned. So
you know what I like? I feel like, especially during pandemic, people are just much more introspective, and he's fascinating anyway, but I feel like lately the guests that we've had on have really taken time to think through this pandemic about themselves, their businesses, and just about life in general. And I feel like the output they're giving on the show is just so much better on a deeper level.
We've had a great run. Pat ourselves on the back a little bit, but the shows have been killing lately. And so, check them out. You're home, you have time.
I'm not even patting us on the back. I'm just saying we just have been really totally blessed and lucky lately. The guests have been really on point and really interesting. I feel like I'm absolutely learning every single time we do the show.
Yeah, it's been some really, really good stuff. So and last thing I'll say, I don't know if your kids are into this. I think be careful with that TikTok, Trish.
No.
Companies are banning that from we have to have a company meeting about it. I know we both have phones and our work emails on our phones. We may not be able to allow that TikTok app on a work phone. So I'm just throwing that out there.
Can I just say it's a personal choice. You have to opt in. And
I don't use it, by the way. I'm officially not a user of this app.
And what I love about our country is that we get choice to do these things. I'm so sick of people going, you need to take TikTok off your phone. You know what? Here's what I have on my phone. We do business in China with Chinese companies.
We do. I have WeChat on my phone.
We have WeChat on our phones because we do business. So,
all right.
Is TikTok with some dance? Look, people use it for whatever, but anyway, that's a whole other.
All right. Well, let's table that. We'll have a company meeting. Talk about it.
No TikTok fights at the end of the show.
All right.
Well, I will see you later, everyone. Thank you for joining us.
Morning here, or almost. Not anymore.
It's 11:20 here. So anyway, thank you everyone for joining us today for an early break. We love all your feedback, all your comments, and thank you all for viewing and sharing. And we will see you tomorrow.
And for vinyl, I recommend Dark Side of the Moon. So pick that one up.
There you go. All right. Bye, everyone.